Hello and welcome back to the PNY PRO Podcast. My name is Jerome and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Bianca as well as Derek. And today we have Stacy from NVIDIA. How's it going, Stacy?
Hey, thanks for having me. Super
Yeah,
excited to be on the podcast today.
yeah, we're so excited to have you. I know GTC was just right around the corner before. How was your experience at GTC?
It was great. The show was pretty huge. Going through the floor, seeing just the breadth and the scope of, NVIDIA and ingested into all these different technologies was really exciting to see. And we had some really great announcements at GTC for, the professional audience. So all around, like a really good show, really good turnout, and a great way to learn about like the latest and greatest coming from NVIDIA. So yeah, just how was GTC for you?
It was great. Yeah. I mean, it was so awesome. I know you mentioned especially like the breadth and depth of everything there. It felt like there was so much, but it wasn't just there to be there. Like everything really had a purpose and a meaning, and it really translated into the overarching theme, I feel like, of GTC, which is bringing these desktop GPUs to the next level, integrating AI into everything. So it was just really amazing to see.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. Just again, the evolution of AI, where it's going, and again, kind of comparing over like the last episode we talked about, comparing last year to this year. I just feel like the attendance, there's more people there. The showroom was packed, and I just feel like a lot of people were still. Not that last year people weren't interested, but again, I feel like there was that fear factor maybe of AI to where now people are accepting it and kind of see the advancements and how it can optimize workflows and just optimize just overall, I guess, just life and improvements within the workspace. So I feel like a lot of people are accepting it more and seeing kind of how all the different use cases for AI can be utilized across the showroom floor.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Stacey, you mentioned the really exciting announcements that took place at GTC. With your specialty, your wealth of knowledge, and your work that you do with the desktop GPUs and the new RTX Pro products, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these new announcements.
Yeah, absolutely. So at GTC, we announced the NVIDIA Blackwell architecture for enterprises for our workstation space, introducing the new NVIDIA RTX Pro branded GPUs. So that encompasses like laptop products, desktop products, and data center. But of course, like my focus is on desktop. And for that, we announced 5 new Blackwell GPUs, and mainly focused on our high end to our ultra high end, and then also introducing a new form factor, like a new solution for our workstation audience that brings this new level of performance, capabilities, memory size, all of that, just unprecedented performance and capabilities from a desktop workstation. So really excited to start to bring that to market soon and to see how professionals are going to be able to unlock new use cases, really accelerate some of their existing more traditional workflows, and also integrate AI into more of their workloads and their workflows, and seeing how just the efficiency of the cutting edge Blackwell architecture is going to make a difference in just speed ups across the board.
Yeah. And you mentioned the new branding of RTX Pro. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about what exactly that means and what distinguishes this round of products from past iterations of it?
So NVIDIA RTX Pro is essentially a rebranded line of professional GPUs designed for enterprise users, power users, as well as data center deployments. So we made this transition to clearly differentiate NVIDIA professional products from consumer-focused like GeForce RTX GPUs and the broader NVIDIA RTX like platform and technology. So again, it's focused for our professionals. Our professional solutions are really built for, architects, designers, engineers, data scientists, researchers, all of those types of titles. So we want to help them with identifying the right products by updating our brand and having that strong like nomenclature around it. Essentially, we're just rebranding NVIDIA RTX to NVIDIA RTX Pro to just emphasize that specialization. And with adding Pro to the name, it helps us establish, these features that prioritize reliability, stability, certified drivers, error correction code memory, and just like optimize performance for really mission critical business tasks that professionals are doing like on the daily. And it covers our Blackwell products, but as a whole product family, we're transitioning from NVIDIA RTX to NVIDIA RTX Pro. But any of our new products that we launched at GTC and going forward, they will take in that NVIDIA RTX Pro branding. And no like existing products will change their branding. It'll remain NVIDIA RTX or even Quadro.
So when it comes to some of the use cases, what is one of the most exciting use cases that you see that these new GPUs can really be used in? I know there's many different markets that you can use these GPUs for, but really, what really stands out for you?
Yeah, so we're definitely embarking in this kind of new era of AI and graphics. And with that, there's just increasing demands for greater compute and more powerful solutions. And these Blackwell GPUs really provide the capabilities to take on some of these new type of workloads with neural rendering, AI reasoning, physical AI, and then of course just more enhanced like scientific simulation or accelerated computing.
Again, a lot of excitement goes around, and us being a partner too, kind of getting prepped for a launch like this. Like, how is that at NVIDIA when, and you I can only imagine how far in advance you're working on something like this, but like that build up, like I guess the morale and that, like just inside the headquarters there at NVIDIA, like how is that experience kind of months in advance prepping, and then once you actually launch it, like how's that from an NVIDIA perspective?
It's definitely a very exciting time before any launch, especially around like a new architecture announcement or just like GTC in general. So everyone's just all working on the same team. Sometimes you have early mornings and like late nights and things like that. But it's really exciting to see how some of the product readiness moves along, seeing how some of the announcements kind of evolve and morph, and things that may have been slated for like later in the year get pulled in, and everyone's just all hands on deck and like ready to adapt and work together on these launches. So really, really exciting. Especially getting to announce at GTC. There's so many products that get announced at GTC, and sometimes they don't make the cut. So we were really, really excited to see RTX Pro, be part of some of the top announcements from NVIDIA at GTC, getting to see our new desktop GPUs available for demos and on the show floor, like in the NVIDIA booth, but also in like the PNY booth as well. So it was really exciting to see something kind of start from product specs on a paper or a PowerPoint slide, and then actually seeing it working on a live demo, and seeing attendees really engaging with, the demos like at the PNY booth, and also coming to us at the NVIDIA booth and asking more about the products.
Yeah, that's like very, very full circle. It probably must feel so amazing from the NVIDIA perspective to see it actually get into people's hands and people be using it. But, you definitely mentioned how people were having it in some of their demos. I know at PNY we had it. We had the Blackwell Workstation Edition in some of our demos. But as people are starting to get this new product into their hands, and maybe even some people are getting it for different workflows, is there anything you're hearing from the greater majority or people that are using it that they're surprised about, or that they really didn't realize how much more power they would get? Is there anything that's been shocking?
Yeah, I would say that there are a few things that I think were a little surprising or like unexpected to the audience. And one of them would be like 96 gigabytes of memory. So that's the first time in the industry, really. And, talking to creators, AI developers, early on about kind of scoping use cases or workflows where 96 gigabytes can make a difference. A lot of them are just like, well, I've never had that much memory before. So I don't know yet what I could do, but I'm excited to try things out. And that could be having larger running larger language models on there, having more video streams, using much higher resolution for video editing, and even just like massive, like really massive data sets for like graphics or even simulation. So we're still trying to understand just really like the impact that 96 gigabytes is going to benefit some of these professionals in like various use cases, but it does open up a lot of potential. It allows more headroom to do more like multi-application workflows, but it allows like in AI development, just more exploration and experimentation and seeing that maybe there's some workloads that you can do on your desktop for local AI development, where you don't have to wait for like compute or like data center resources. And you can really just kind of speed up your iterative like development cycle through local compute power. I think the other surprising thing was introducing the RTX Pro 6000 Blackwell Workstation Edition, because this does introduce like this new groundbreaking thermal and like power innovations like from NVIDIA, where previously our flagship product kind of capped out at 300 watts. And this time we have 600 watts. So that's double the 300 watts of the RTX 6000 ADA generation. And we're able to achieve, a higher wattage with this new design that has dual axial cooling like system channels that allow for the airflow to really optimize like the heat dissipation for that 600 watt load. And it delivers like 4,000 tops of AI performance. So really incredible AI inference and reasoning capabilities from the desktop. So it kind of reimagines our desktop performance for professionals and from a single GPU solution. So I think that was really exciting for a lot of the attendees at GTC, especially to see it at the NVIDIA booth and at our partner booths to really visualize like this kind of beast of a GPU going to be available for them soon.
So for you, at what point do you get a chance to kind of get it into your hand?
We do have like our engineering products or like engineering samples that come available internally. And we use that to just run tests on like functionality, quality, performance, and even running or developing like demos. So I would say I probably get a little bit of an earlier access to some of these products like before PNY does, just from like these internal samples. But we pretty much get like the same products as you do at the same time. So we're kind of working through the development of our positioning, our messaging, our even demo concepts around the same time that you guys might get samples for like testing as well. So that could be just like a couple months before our launch date. And in the case of GTC, we probably had our early samples around starting in like January. So didn't give us much of a runway to really like go through and do a lot of our testing. But we were still able to get that out the door. We ran some performance benchmarks, which we were able to showcase in terms of like workflow benefits. But again, we do like rigorous testing all the way through like mass production. And at that point, we go through kind of our final build quality. We run all of our performance testing again. That gets out to like our partners and to end customers. And then we just ramp up to getting everyone on board to Blackwell.
Yeah, and I think another thing too, just to add is with the whole Blackwell and RTX Pro, like kind of like you said, rebranding in the sense is the current NVIDIA QuadraSync 2 board. I know that's going to now be the NVIDIA RTX Pro Sync, which that I think I'll like go a little more details, but I think is going to be intriguing too, because someone who's doing like massive LED walls and kind of like you mentioned earlier, a high refresh rate with Blackwell, they're going to be able to take advantage of like a higher variable refresh rate. So can you go into a little bit more about that? Like I just kind of how the new sync board will fall in line with the Blackwell GPUs?
Yeah. So again, that one's more of just a rebranding as well. So it used to be named Quadro Sync. And we have retired that Quadro brand like a while ago. So as part of this Blackwell launch, we wanted to kind of overhaul all of our branding across the board. So all of our like professional solutions now will go by RTX Pro. So that's what we did with the Quadro Sync card. So now it'll be named NVIDIA RTX Pro Sync. Functionality and like software compatibility is all the same as the Quadro Sync 2 card, and is going to be really beneficial for like virtual production or spectacle displays, anything that you need really high resolution, synchronized, like multi-display setups. There is going to be a firmware update for the RTX Pro Sync that will be available probably around like the early May timeframe. And at that point, any users who are using Quadro Sync 2 and they update their firmware, it'll automatically update the branding to RTX Pro Sync on their control panel.
So Stacy, do you have any most important new capabilities of these new Pro Blackwell GPUs?
Yeah, honestly, with the Blackwell architecture, there's so many new innovations and capabilities. But to name a few, I would first start off with 5th gen tensor cores. These are going to accelerate, deep learning matrix operations, really critical to neural network training and inference. And these cores feature like 3 times higher throughput over the previous generation with FP4 precision. So for developers, this translates to unprecedented capabilities for workstations with, double the memory and 3 times the AI processing power than before to really accelerate local LLM prototyping, industrial scale inferencing, and efficient deployment of like generative AI models, all while maintaining, compatibility with existing AI frameworks from NVIDIA. We also have the 4th gen RT cores, which enable true-to-life neural graphics by delivering up to 2 times faster ray tracing performance over the previous generation. So really achieving photorealistic scene rendering with physically accurate shadows, reflections, and refractions to create photoreal and, physically accurate scenes and immersive 3D designs, especially with some new neural graphics-based technologies such as RTX Mega Geometry and DLSS4. And then we also have neural shaders, which integrate AI inside of programmable shaders that enable these like more hybrid workflows with RTX Mega Geometry and DLSS4 for multi-frame generation, for really advanced graphics and AI accelerated content creation. We also have 422 color format support, which is a game changer for professional video editors, as it retains nearly as much color information as 444 while greatly reducing the file size. So this improves color grading and chroma keying, using color information to just isolate a specific range of hues, but really maximizes efficiency and quality for video. And then another pretty powerful new capability for the Blackwell architecture is PCIe Gen 5. So that is going to essentially double the data transfer speeds and enhance the overall workflow and application performance and responsiveness. So across the board, this is going to be beneficial to professionals, like regardless of what they're working on.
All right, well, Stacy, thank you again so much for joining us for another episode of the podcast. We look forward to having you on a future episode to dive into more products and kind of the in and know of what's going on with NVIDIA. So thank you again. For all those that are listening, you can tune into your favorite podcast platform. If you're a visual person like me, it will be uploaded to YouTube as well. So make sure you follow us on social media and subscribe to our PNY Pro YouTube channel. Until then, we will see you in the next episode.